So here I am back with you again. This time we're making Pate Sucree. What's different about it? Not a whole lot. If you look at these ingredients compared to the ingredients we used in the previous recipe, which is also in this video, the primary difference is that these ingredients are warmed or soft. So this butter is room temperature. It's been sitting out for a little bit. The egg is room temperature. I'm going to give it a little smack, crack it into the bowl. So this method is the creaming method. So what does that mean? That means that I'm going to do this by hand. It can and is most often done using a mixer, but because I'm prepping you to make this at home, and if you don't have a mixer, I want you to still be able to make it. I am going to put the butter in this stainless steel bowl, and it's nice and soft, as you can see. So I'm just like, this is like Little House on the Prairie. I don't know if you know Laura Ingalls' mother, but she used to do this in a big old batter bowl, which is a ceramic bowl. So I'm creaming this butter by hand for this dough. It's a lot more work than I had hoped. I was going to use the mixer, but in the best interests of you, I decided I'd do it this way. All right, so as you can see, I'm just smashing it up, and then I'm going to add the sugar to the butter, and I'm going to continue to smash this up, and I will let you know how the finished product looks when I get done. All right. So I've creamed the butter and the sugar together, and it is definitely some work. I feel bad for Laura Ingalls' mom, but if you have a mixer, you can use a mixer. If you don't, this works perfectly fine. So now what we have to do is we have to incorporate this egg and make the egg emulsify with this butter. And I must say, it may be a little bit challenging this way. So I'm going to take this egg, scramble her up. The reason I'm scrambling it is because then I can add it a little at a time to this mixture. So I'm going to drop a little bit in, and then I'm going to use the spatula, and I'm going to blend it and stir it and get it to absorb. I probably should have picked a bowl that didn't have a loop on it. That's smashing all around. Okay, this is working. You can still see the look. So you can see there's still egg on the outside of this butter. See how the egg, you can see it's shiny? We have to get the butter to absorb that egg. So I'm going to keep stirring until that happens. And little by little, I'm going to add the remaining, egg, and I will show you the finished product. I'm not going to add any more egg to this until I get it all emulsified. And I am almost there. Hang on, give me a second. I think we got it. There we go. All right, takes work. This is the same creaming method, people, we use for the cake. Okay, see that? So now the butter has absorbed the liquid. You don't see any butter, any egg on the outside of the butter sugar mixture. So we're good. I'm going to add the rest of the egg a little at a time and continue to emulsify it, and then I'll come back and show you how to get the flour in. So we creamed the butter and sugar together by hand. We added the egg actually in 3 stages. So we scrambled up a single egg and added it a third at a time, and we now have a nice creamy emulsified mixture. That butter and sugar have absorbed as much egg as they possibly can. I have a little bit of salt. I'm going to add it to the flour. I'm going to give it a little toss with my fingers just to blend it, and then I'm going to add this flour to the butter mixture, maybe half at a time, and begin the process of folding or blending it in, whatever you want to call it. Adding the flour mixture in to the butter and egg mixture, half at a time. I have the other half in, and I'll continue to fold this until I have a nice soft dough. This dough will resemble cookie dough when it's finished. I'll bring you back to see the final process. Okay, I pretty much have most all of the flour blended into the butter, sugar, and egg mixture. I am going to use this to scrape it off of the spatula. I'm going to scrape it out of the bowl, and I'm going to finish kneading this, or mixing it really, not kneading it, but just kind of mixing it with my little flexible bowl scraper. You can use a bench scraper if you have one, and I know you do because you all have one in your kits. Once you have it pretty much blended, I don't know if you can tell by watching, but this dough, the pate sucree, is much more tender than the pate brise, and this is the dough that we make and bake blind and use a finished filling in. Now, this is basically a cookie dough, and it's very tender and a little bit tricky to roll out because it is so tender. But I will show you a few tricks. I'm going to wrap this up in a piece of plastic wrap like I did the other one, put it in the refrigerator, and I will show you the finished product.